The federal government has announced it plans to expand one of its signature housing policies to allow people on higher incomes to buy more expensive properties. The Help to Buy scheme allows home buyers to co-purchase their home with the government. This lowers the size of the deposit and mortgage needed to get into the property market. Under the changes, income caps and property price caps will rise. For singles, the current income limit is $90,000, set to rise to $100,000. For couples and single parents, the limit is $120,000. Under the changes, it will go up to $160,000. Taking a look at the property price caps in some of our capital cities, caps are tied to the median house price in each region. In Sydney, the new cap is $1.3 million, up from the current limit of $950,000. In Brisbane will be $1 million, up from $700,000. And in Melbourne, it goes from $850,000 to $950,000. Housing Minister Claire O'Neil says the changes will open up the scheme to a wider range of people.
We've got a generation of young people growing up in our country who can't see a pathway to home ownership, and our government wants to change that. Now, Help to Buy is going to help 40,000 people who would otherwise have no real chance of home ownership get into a home of their own, and our government absolutely stands behind that.
Political reporter Olivia Kingsley joins us now from Parliament House in Canberra. Olivia, what can you tell us about this?
So the Albanese government essentially wants to expand its Help to Buy scheme to make it more accessible so more young Australians can get on the property ladder. So as part of this scheme, the government essentially chips in a part of the deposit so Australians don't need to basically generate as big a deposit, sometimes as little as 2%. As you've run through there, essentially the government is going to put in more money, and this is going to cost taxpayers up to $6.3 billion. That's going to be one of the big budget announcements from next week. Essentially, the total number of places in the scheme will remain at 10,000 over the next 4 years. When it comes to the politics of this, though, this Help to Buy scheme was politically contentious. It only passed the Parliament at the end of last year. It was initially opposed by the Greens, and the Coalition were never in favour of it because they argued that Australians don't want to co-own a home with the government. We have heard from a Professor of Urban Planning, Nicole Gurran, here on ABC News this morning, and she says that while this policy is tinkering around the edges, it will benefit some Australians.
I do think there is an appetite for equity sharing schemes, and they can work very, very well. Obviously, it won't be people's first choice, but it does reflect the barriers to first home ownership that we see now in Australia.
As we know, the federal election is just around the corner, and when Australians head to the ballot box, we are going to see millennials and Gen Z outnumbering baby boomers for the first time. As we know, housing affordability is a major problem and issue for this cohort. So this is part of Labor's re-election pitch to them.